are yours in gratitude for your aid. And on one of the sarcophagus, the lid smoothly moves to one side. And then he says, "But I ask that you respect my peers in a way these trespassers would not."
Certainly. What do we do about the lids? Because they're heavy as heck. I don't think I can put them back on, though.
I wish you to sanctify and shelter their remains, of course, with my help.
Okay. How do we do that?
Well, remember I said a couple of the lids. Well, a couple of the lids that were broken start to mend themselves, basically. As you can see, Althadar, he's kind of rotating his hands around and doing some type of chant or maybe a ritual spell, and the stone lids are putting themselves back together. So it looks like he is putting them back together. So yes, his sarcophagus, the lid slid open, and actually the lid is kind of levitating beside of his tomb.
That's pretty cool. Althadar, you're a pretty cool guy. I didn't get to know you in real life, but you're pretty cool. Hey, would you mind if I keep your just like your skull?
Why
that
would
way
you want?
We could talk whenever you want.
My
like
skull?
I could just rub your head and be like, "Hey, Althadar," and you could pop out and we can have a conversation. Or is that? Would you rather I just leave it here in the crypt?
Well, I would prefer you to leave my head here, but okay. I will.
I mean, I thought we were friends, that's all. I'm sorry, that's kind of a weird question, I guess, to ask.
We are friends, Emu, and I will give you this as he kind of floats down towards you to be eye level with you. So his body's kind of in the floor, right? Yeah. And he takes the diadem off of his head, and he says, "I hope this works for you." And he takes his circlet, and he puts it on your head.
This is pretty cool.
Is it like glowy and
it's
ghostly?
So whenever you put it on, it basically has these little stones that are kind of orbiting around your head. Looks really cool.
This is gonna be epic during our circus.
Sort of like in Diablo 3, the orbital circlet that the stones kind of rotate around your head. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Thanks, Althadar. That's means a lot.
This meant a lot to me as well. This is one of the Aeon stones. And then, in his tomb, there's also a necklace that's worth like 20 gold, so I'll put that in there. There is he tells you that there is a moderate antidote, and I've gone ahead and already identified that as well, so you can take that out. And there's also a silver religious relic as well that's worth a little bit of gold. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this Ion Stone in the party sheet, and you can just take that if you decide to keep it or if you decide to give it to someone else. But it's a worn item, and it doesn't have a category label, so you can, this actually you can have another helm basically, and this is sort of like the little stones that are orbiting around you. And he tells you that this will save your life. And basically what it does is it's the tourmaline sphere. And when you would die from the dying condition, usually at 4, this Aeon Stone will automatically activate, and it reduces your dying value by 1. So, so the great thing about this is this can happen once a day. I mean, so you can die once a day and be okay.
I could die every day? Oh,
you
man.
could die every day. Yeah,
We
pretty
are
much.
so using this in the circus, guaranteed.
Oh, yeah. Fireball. I hope you like fireball.
That's perfect.
Yeah. The Undying.
I'll be Emu the Undying.
And
Don't snap your
this-
fingers, though. Something might happen. Aeon stones.
right? The stone also allows you to cast heal once per day also. Innately. You can cast it once a day. So yeah, you can get a heal out of it also. And then all of you help get all of his other colleagues back into their basically their sarcophaguses were not desecrated, inside of stuff, but there were a lot of trinkets and stuff that you put back in, and Ulthadar, he basically helps you levitate the lids back onto the sarcophaguses, and then he thanks you, and he says, thank you for helping me sanctify and shelter the remains of my friends and my peers. And then Ulthadar just fades away.
He was a pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
I know. I know.
I'll leave a spoon on top of his sarcophagus.
Yeah, right. No, pretty cool guy.
He was a cool guy. All right, so
We
you
should
are out of
make a
combat.
journal of all of our exploits.
Write a story.
Yeah.
Here
I
and
used to
back
do that.
again.
I wonder if Ulthadar could be our ghostwriter.
Light his skull on fire.
He's gone. Grab his skull, Emu.
Oh my god. That would be hilarious.
He's gone.
All right, you guys want to take our quick 10 minutes here at least?
Yeah, I could use like about 30 or 40 minutes worth of healing.
How long are we going to spend
2
here?
hours.
I have like a dinosaur-shaped impression on my whole chest.
Yeah, you do. Big gore wound from his antler.
All right, here's 10. We'll spend 10 minutes for starters.
Okay. So you can go ahead and do your rolls. And as all of you are kind of mending your wounds, gathering your thoughts, etc., all of a sudden you start to hear footsteps, quickly paced footsteps, as they are getting louder and louder towards you.
It's probably the cat lady.
I'm gonna use that heal ability. If I know, do I know how to use it already? Like, do
Sure.
I just
Yeah, you
innately
can.
know?
Yeah, you would just go ahead and do, what is it, 1d8 for heal? You should be able to add the spell to your
Back.
actions tab, right, as an effect?
Okay. Yeah. Let me.
Yeah.
A willing living person's 1d8 plus 8.
So after the 10 minutes, we have incoming something.
Yes, you do. Actually, in the middle of your 10 minutes, and it kind of takes you by surprise as you all, I'm sure you all would prepare, and all of a sudden a familiar trio appears in front of you, the Faceless Stalkers. And the Faceless Stalkers are in their natural forms, and they alert you that there has been an attack on the Circus of Wayward Wonders, and the professor needs your help immediately.
Ooh, we've got to get back there.
We gotta hustle.
The professor.
I'm pretty good. It's a good idea, Zero, that you invited these guys to join our team. That's pretty helpful.
No.
Yes. Very. Thanks, guys.
Well, let's go
I
to the
guess we-
rescue.
what- Let's go. Yeah.
I'll cast a soothe spell on Amo. Amo on the way out.
So, yeah, as you are all rushing back to the scene of what has happened, you can, as you're getting close to the outskirts, the big top has been erected, and you can see that there's, some kind of smoke that's coming, that's kind of billowing up above the treetops. And as you get closer, a lot of your fellow colleagues are like, the professor's over here. And you see the professor, and he says, my friends, we've been attacked. There were a half dozen people that came into the camp. They surprised us. They had torches. They had clubs. We were doing some rehearsing for the big show. That's tomorrow. And we were just too scattered about to have any kind of good defense. And he apologizes and said that it's totally on him and it's his fault. And he says these vagabonds, they wore masks, but we recognize them anyway. They were some of the ruffians from the Celestial Menagerie. They didn't kill anyone. Thank the stars for that. But a few of our performers that were going to perform tomorrow are going to need a couple of weeks to recover from their injuries. And unfortunately, we did have a couple of animals that did die from the fires that they started. But don't worry, all of the fires are out. And they kept saying that there was a message. And they kept saying, the message is clear. Basically what these ruffians were doing, they were telling everyone in the Celestial Menagerie to get out of Escadar or expect something worse. And that's where it stands. The professor says that Mistress Dusklight is probably behind this. We all know that. It's been like that ever since we came into the town of Escadar. And the professor says she's gone too far with an attack like this, and she's got to answer for what she's done. And the professor says, I don't care if it's within the law or outside of the law, but she has to be dealt with.
Oh yeah, we'll take her out. What about Bardoff the bear? Did he survive the attack?
Bardoff the bear did survive the attack. He did.
All right, well, she's lucky, because if she would have killed Bardoff, it would have been hell to pay, even worse. We would have killed her, and then we would have resurrected her, and then we would have killed her a second time.
Every single day. Oh.
So what do you think? What do you think, adventurers or pathfinders? What do you think?
Oh, we've got enough stuff to discredit
Yeah, we could
Mistress Dusklight now. So if we go talk to the mayor, so maybe we can get the town on our side.
Yeah. So you basically want to get back to the, you want to get back into the main part of town, see the chief constable. Anybody remember the chief constable's name? Without looking it up, Doug.
See my eyes scanning here.
Andera Pauldrene. I saw Doug look over to the other monitor. I was like, all right, I busted him. So you can go back to Andera. And of course, she is busy. You make the way there with urgent haste. And as usual, you interrupt her again. But remember, you have her 100%
treaty with the Zolgoths.
Yeah, you do. Oh, very good. I forgot about that. So she's working diligently in her office when you arrive, and she says, how's everything going? I haven't seen you for several days now.
Yeah, the Moonstone Temple has been cleaned up. Well, not cleaned yet, because it still smells. But we got rid of a bunch of bad things there. Demons and Zolgoths, and we got the Zolgoth leader. Well, he was second in command, but now he's the leader. Don't ask how that happened, but
I won't.
He's the new leader, and the old leader was really bad and evil, so she's no longer around. We took care of her. So the new leader is gonna leave the area. He vacated, took all his Zolgoths with him, and they would like to negotiate some sort of a peace treaty, trade agreement in 2 weeks' time. Here's his letter. Oh, and the Celestial Menagerie, Mistress Dustlight, was working with their evil leader to do sacrifices and all kinds of nefarious things.
Ooh. Well, I don't know what to say. First off, I thank you for eliminating all of the dangerous creatures, that could have become a threat to our city. Now, as for this peace treaty with the Zolgoths, is this correct? They want to set up some type of trade with us here, and
They wanted to, but we said that would be between them and the townsfolk to work out. So they're going to send an emissary up in 2 weeks through the tunnels of the Moonstone Temple to meet with an emissary from the town and discuss potential terms. But we just said they had to leave the area first because we couldn't negotiate with stinky Zolgoths while they lived in the temple.
Well, that sounds promising. We'll see if anything comes from it, but wow, I don't know what to say. I appreciate this. And what of Mistress Dusklight? I mean, she's been a shining pillar in our community for many years.
She's a shining piece of something. I won't use that language around a lady, but really bad lady. She attacked while we were down there clearing out, fighting for the town. She sent her little thugs and hooligans into our little area, and she injured several of our entertainers and killed several of our animals, injured other animals. And we know that she was, yes, she's really trying to, and she said that was a message for us to get out of town because she didn't like competition. So then she was working with the Zolgoths and stealing stuff out of the temple. They said she was taking their artifacts, and she was bringing like people from the town down as sacrifices for the evil Zolgoth.
Well, we have had a more than average claim of missing folks as of late. But these are very strong and harsh claims, Emu. What type of evidence do you have to...
Well, we have a letter here from the Zolgoth chief. He wrote that down. It's in the little PS section at the bottom. I asked him to add that little section at the end. So he added that she's really like a bad character, and he told us the whole deal. And he's still alive, so you can still talk to him when they send their emissary. And there's a bunch of dead sacrifice people down there. I'm sure you have priests in the village. You could probably, just like speak with the dead or something, and then be like, "Oh yeah, what happened?" And then they're like, "Well, that Mistress Dust, like cat lady, just came and grabbed us."
Love Emu's voice. So you have these two pieces of evidence. I mean, it would really help if you had a third piece of evidence that would.
Well, we think she has.
Her.
She also has artifacts probably on her, and I'm assuming that she had no permission to be in the Moonstone Temple either.
Well, nobody has permission. The only ones that were given a writ of permission were you and you and your friends here. That's it. There's nobody supposed to be down there, including Zolgoths. So how did the Zolgoths get in there?
Well, they came from farther up underground, basically, from the Darklands or something.
From the Darklands?
Wherever the Darklands are, that's where they came from.
It was rumored that there was at one time an entrance to the Darklands in the temple, and that's how it was overthrown. I'll have to send some engineers down there to see what we can do to find it and then possibly barricade it back up.
We had a note we couldn't read before as well, didn't we?
Yeah, you found a couple of things, actually. For a hero point, does anybody remember what item was found that could possibly link the circus, the Celestial Menagerie, to this as well? Anybody for a hero point?
Oh, that was the
there's a staff, right?
That was the net, but there was something special about it, but it was a net.
That is correct.
Net.
Correct. It had the initial CM, the Celestial Menagerie. Well, it had actually the entire logo on it.
Nice.
So yeah, after you, and you can have an inspiration for that Emu. I'm sorry, not Emu, but Omi.
Omi.
Yep. So yeah, you have the note, you have the two different pieces of parchment, you have the invisible net, and also you hear out of nowhere Givzib. Givzib actually says, everything that they say is true, and I can confirm this. And Givzib appears on Andera's desk, and they have a conversation back and forth. So Andera, she thinks long and hard, and she says, I cannot believe this. And she says, do you know what type of upheaval this is going to cause in our community? When, you know, it's publicly known that Mistress Dusklight has been up to no good. She says, well, we can't tolerate that here in Escadar. And she pulls out a piece of parchment, and she says, I am temporarily deputizing all of you as deputies of Escadar, and I am giving you lawful permission to apprehend and arrest Mistress Dusklight and return her here to the Conclave Square. And she's writing this out. You know, she has a big wax seal. She dips it in the hot wax and stamps it. Bam. So all of you have been temporarily deputized to arrest Mistress Dusklight.
Where's my badge?
Nice.
Oh, you want badges? Sure, I can give you badges. And she goes over to her filing cabinet and throws all of you Escadar deputy badges that you can pin on your shirt.
Oh, they're not.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I almost forgot about the badges. And she says, you know, I will say this. Mistress Dusklight does have a very fanatic following over there at her circus. And I will understand if you have to defend yourselves. And I'm not telling you to bring her back dead or alive. I would like to see her brought back alive, because I would like to try her and, you know, give her the justice that she deserves. But you have the right to defend yourself.
We definitely believe in giving people the justice that they deserve. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So we're on the same page. Yes.
Yes. The Heroes of Escadar is what I'm going to call you now. So I know you as being the Heroes of Escadar. You are more than certainly capable of handling yourselves. So I give you permission to bring Mistress Dusklight in for justice. And that's where we will end here, as she says, thank you for eliminating the creatures in the Moonstone Hall. And anything that you found is yours to keep as part of our agreement. And bring me that Mistress Dusklight. She is we don't want her type in our town. I mean, if she's pulling this and stealing artifacts and, you know, kidnapping our great citizens of the fine town of Escadar, she has no place in our community.
And we may need to go back into the temple a few more times just to make sure that it's completely safe for your guards to go through. But other than that, we should be good.
Sure, you may do that at your leisure, and while you have your temporary badges, you feel free to go or do anything that you need to do.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. So,
Amy,
yeah,
we'll
you guys... Yeah, well, she thanks all of you, shakes all of your hands, gives you all pecks on the cheek, and you know that the time of day is mid-afternoon, and we'll end it to where you are, I guess. Where do you guys want? What would you guys like to do next?
We probably would go back to the circus and tell everybody that we're taking care of the problem, make sure all of our workers are good, and that we're the leaders of the circus too. So we have to ensure them that they're taken care of first. They're our number one kind of priority.
Absolutely. So that's where we will start next week, back at your circus, the Circus of Wayward Wonders, and everybody good to go next week?
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome.
Good.
Yep.
Great game, everybody. That was fun. So,
Yeah,
Do the
thanks for the game.
casters need some sleep?
what's that?
I said, do our casters need some sleep?
Oh yes.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I need a full day's rest.
Yeah, that's fine. You can rest the rest of the night, and you know that the Celestial Menagerie has a nightly performance just as the sun is going down, but they do open up the gates several hours beforehand to where you can go and see the exhibits, the animals, etc. So
Are we serving the ward during their show, or when are we serving our wards?
that is up to you, Pathfinders.
I think
That would
early
be
in
up
the
to
morning
you.
would be good. Just roll in
Should
the
we
morning,
embarrass
wake up call.
The old 5 a.m. bust on the door and just grab her. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll start next week back at the Circus of Wayward Wonders, and great game, everybody.
Yep. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See you next week. Bye.